I got a special equation that I've developed for you. And that equation is very simple. 50 Cent plus beef equals 0. Let me explain what my little economic evaluation of 50 Cent is really made up of. If you read off the list of people that 50 Cent has beefed with throughout his career, this is no secret. It's a shitload of people. Okay? Ja Rule, Young Buck, The Game, Diddy, Rick Ross, Fat Joe, Jada, Oprah, and yes, I meant to say it 3 times. Lil Wayne, Kanye, Cameron, French Montana, Floyd Mayweather, fucking Jay-Z, and I think I'm leaving out about 2 to 3 other people. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. 50 Cent plus beef equals 0. You see, the reason why it equals zeros is this. When you direct your ammo at anyone indiscriminately, you beef with no one. When you have no standard, when you have no motive, you beef with no one. When you beef with people who are outside of your profession, when you beef with people who are way out of your league, it makes you seem as if you are way out of touch. And that's exactly what 50 is. He's got this beef going on with Meek here, and I wasn't really interested in it a couple days ago when I mentioned to you guys that Meek had the whole I'm the plug freestyle thing up against Drake. And I know that on the 4 out of 4, he also addressed 50 on a track, but I chose not to acknowledge it for a very specific reason. And it's for this reason, because beefs with 50 aren't really beefs. He's almost become like an idea at this point. He's just an entity that just flows, within hip hop, and he just drifts from person to person for whatever fucking reason. Now, he's been posting a lot of pictures of Meek, a lot of memes of Meek on his Instagram, and just a few hours ago, Meek posted up a picture, a screenshot of a Michael Blackinson post. Michael Blackinson, that famous African comedian, where Michael Blackinson pointed out the fact that Fifth is just, he's going a bit overboard with these memes, and he's just digging way too back into history to try to make it seem like Meek is contradicting himself. And Meek posted it and basically said, look, Fifth, I surrender. I submit to your memes, I think was the actual caption that Meek laid there on his Instagram. So maybe it's over and it's done with. But I got to say that I don't have a specific problem with the meme wars like most people do. I think most things within hip hop beefs can be explained by Takeover and Ether. I think you can explain a lot of this shit just by the dynamic between Nas and Jay and just those records as a whole. You see, because when Jay addressed Prodigy, you guys will all remember that Jay addressed Prodigy of Mobb Deep by, the crescendo of the diss against Prodigy, the meat and potatoes up against Prodigy was this picture that Jay had attained of Prodigy when he was a child, posing as a dancer in something that looks like it's akin to like a Michael Jackson, sort of a Michael Jackson pose, kind of feminine, very theatrical. But it wasn't depicting Prodigy in a very gangster light. So Jay-Z famously put this picture up on the screen at Summer Jam when he first performed the Takeover just about a month or 2 before actually releasing it on the Blueprint album. As Jay-Z said on the song, Don't be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. Now, that tells you a little something. I mean, to me, that at least lets you know that if there were an Instagram back in 2001, there might have been a slight chance that Jay would have dismissively just posted up a picture of Prodigy up on his Instagram page and maybe not even addressed him at all on the takeover. Now, Jay isn't very social media savvy. We understand that, but the Blueprint Jay that we knew before is very different than the CEO Sean Carter that we know today. So there may have been a possibility that that would have went down. But I say that because there is a lot of value in the low commitment, very efficient way to dress down an opponent in the most contemptuous manner possible. And something that requires the least amount of effort, if you can still get a reaction out of people, then what's the difference? And I know this is coming from me, Mr. I want rap beefs, I want rap records. I get that. But if you can throw together an onslaught of pictures against somebody and your fan base goes wild, because at the end of the day, this is what your fans want to see. If 50's fans are to be the sort of fans that just want to see drama, because as I said, 50 plus beef equals 0 because he beefs with the world, then you would only expect that his fan base just wants him to lampoon other people. It's not about the actual diss records. It's not about the actual reputation. 50's fans just want to see him clown people. It's pretty much what his brand has been made out of. It's what it's been made up of. So I don't have as much of a problem with Fifth with the whole Instagram stuff. It's just the idea of Fifth being in a beef. Of course, they both have their legal issues. If I'm not mistaken, Meek has some up-and-coming jail time, and 50's got that whole mess with Rick Ross's baby mother and that whole sex tape. They're both not looking good right now. So 50 can't pretend like he has a track record of obliterating his opponents. He didn't do it with Cameron. He certainly didn't do it with Jadakiss. As a matter of fact, Jada tore him to pieces on 2 separate records. But to 50, that side of beef really doesn't matter. The whole lyrical aspect doesn't matter. The Kanye thing was sort of made up. The Diddy thing was just a petty thing that he had going on because he wanted to sign Mace at the time, and it was some, it was stuff over paperwork, basically. Fat Joe is basically because he collaborated with Ja Rule, and then, of course, we know what happened with The Game and with Young Buck. They're all just petty. It's all just petty. And it was funny up until a certain point, but it gets to the point with 50 where there's got to be something to hold on to. You just can't be a troll your whole career. Some form of beef has to mean something. I mean, if you take somebody like Killer Mike, for example, somebody who from what I know, he's had little to no beefs with anyone. Being as clever and as intellectual as Killer Mike is, if he were to have a beef with anyone, then I would be very interested. Killer Mike plus beef equals 100. And not just because he's very intelligent, and not just because it's his lack of beef. It's because I pretty much know that he's not crying wolf. I trust his judgment. You take somebody like Wiz Khalifa plus beef equals, it's pretty comparable to 50's equation. Because I don't trust anything that comes from Wiz Khalifa. He's, he seems to be a very diplomatic person. He doesn't get into any petty situations with people. but I wouldn't be interested in, just like I wouldn't be interested in 50. Ayn Rand, who was a famous the author, philosopher, and just an intellectual, has a lot of thoughts that people disagree with. Me, of course, as just a person who comes from the upbringing that I come from, the neighborhoods that I come from, you read certain books by Ayn Rand, and you notice that very quickly, if you're a minority in this country, you wouldn't be a really big fan of a book like Fountainhead. But she always had these very odd approaches when it came to the subject of love. Ayn Rand, she was of the belief that if you love everyone without virtue, without standards, you are forcing yourself to love no one. So say like a saint, like Mother Teresa, loves no one because everyone is on that equal playing field. A dog. She would love a dog just as much as she would love a human being. So who does she really love? So in the same way, 50 equally beefs with everyone. Doesn't matter if you're in his profession. Doesn't mean if you're out of it. Doesn't matter if you're out of it. Doesn't matter if you're lyrically superior to him. It doesn't matter if you're monetarily doing better than him. 50 is just an idea that thrusts forward with no rhyme or reason. So essentially, he beefs with no one. I have zero interest in any beefs that have to do with 50 Cent. And I think most of you agree as well. But please let me know what you think in the comment section. 50 Cent plus beef equals 0. And I will see you guys next time.